settlement got approved. If you're in the U.S., which many of you are, the settlement got approved. Um, I don't want to be like the rain on the parade, but it's not over, guys. Um, I was talking. So Kevin Sears, who's the NAR president, is a friend of mine. Like we talk regularly. I was talking to him leading up to the settlement approval. Um, he was actually supposed to. I think you guys heard me on one of the calls recently. We were going to do a live broadcast. If you've noticed, that hasn't happened yet. and and that has not happened yet because him and I have been talking regularly, but there's just a lot of things going on behind the scenes, and the DOJ has got. I'm trying to find like a nice way to say this. They've got it for NAR. Like they are just not. They were hoping this meeting they were having back on October 31st was going to be it, and it was like, all right, we come to a decision. We're good. Everybody's happy, and that's not how it went. And so he still cannot do that live broadcast yet because they are still on their heels. And I don't know if you guys saw, but the DOJ filed a statement of I forget what it's called right now, statement of interest. 2 days prior to the potential approval or disapproval. Did you guys see that? Yes or no? Like, give me a nod or okay. You guys saw that? Okay. That was ridiculous, just so you know. That was absurd. I put out a video. We only have 90 seconds on these reels because I would have liked to have gone so much further into that. That was so utterly absurd and disrespectful and just shameful on so many levels. They like NAR is in good faith. Look, you can be anti NAR, pro NAR. I don't care. Like, I'm just trying to speak the truth to you. NAR in good faith has been talking to the DOJ, meeting with the DOJ, giving them what they need, doing, whatever, whether you love them, hate them, whatever. They have been doing that. And the DOJ sat there and talked to them and did it. And then all of a sudden just sideswiped them 48 hours before a potential approval and didn't even come out with like here's an actual statement of, we think it should be approved or we think it shouldn't be approved or we think, like anything like that. They just gave a statement of interest. They just wanted to throw their 2 cents in, and make sure they were heard. And it was so after all the work. Here's what pissed me off. Let me just be very honest with you guys. Again, whether you agree, disagree, anything with NAR, whatever, we have millions of people in this industry between the agents, the brokers, the MLS workers, the committee members, the associations, the board, like guys, there's millions of people whose lives were turned upside down. I don't know if you guys remember, but like, remember when this all was announced and all of a sudden every board in MLS was coming out with a new buyer agreement every other day? And they're going, oh, now we can't do that. No, we can't do that. Well, now we can't. Well, now we found out everything we thought we could do actually wasn't allowed to be done. We'll talk about that in a second. And these people are just going crazy trying to they have no direction. They have no clarity. And so they work their butts off, work their butts off. We're going to flip the whole industry upside down. We're going to make everybody change everything. We're going to pay hundreds of millions of dollars. We're going to make this industry hate us as an organization. We're going to do all this stuff. And then 2 days beforehand, they go, not good enough. We don't like it. So absurd, so absurd. And so they did that, and they've made it very well known that they want to take NAR down. Now, we have a new, now I don't care where you fall politically. That's not what I'm saying right now. Regardless of where you fall, there's a new administration coming in, which means new DOJ people. Let's hope that means they're going to come in with a different idea of what they want to go after. And it's not going to be, the real estate industry. But regardless, what hasn't been getting paid attention to was on November 20th, the plaintiffs dropped a 137-page submission that defined, according to the agreement, the things we are not allowed to do. Did you guys see this or no? Give me again, nod, yes or no. Okay, so this is interesting. Did you know you're not allowed to modify your buyer's rep agreement? Only down, not up. Did you know that? You've been breaking the rules if you were doing that. By the way, makes no sense. And I honestly think that if this keeps getting pushed, it's going to have to go to the Supreme Court because when I talk to Kevin Sears, for example, there's some things I can't say, guys, but one of the things he was thoroughly frustrated with was that the DOJ was trying to circumvent state laws and basically just usurp their authority. And he's going, and NAR's going, you are not, this isn't a kingship. Like, this isn't, states have rights, and these are the state rules that they've come up with, and they're following, and they're not breaking any rules. Like, they're allowed, you don't come in and just say, well, we've decided. Like, where do we live? And so he was thoroughly frustrated by that. And he made some statements to me on the phone that I literally texted him afterwards. I should show you guys the text messages where I said, "Hey, can I say that and tell them that you said that because I don't want to overstep." And he literally wrote me back and goes, "Let me think about it." And then he wrote me back and he's like, "Probably shouldn't." And I'm like, "All right, cool." But they're thoroughly frustrated by it, okay? Where the DOJ is trying to overstep and like tell states what they can do and whatever. You are not allowed, guys. If you go into a property and you see whatever and it's got a higher buyer agent, a higher amount being offered, you are not allowed to adjust your buyer agency up, only down. Did you guys know that? By the way, contracts are made to be amended, just so you know, legally. If everybody signs and everybody, where do we live right now? Because, like, that's allowed, but not according to this 137-page agreement that was agreed to. Another thing, you cannot collect seller paid bonuses if they were not in the original agreement. So if you go to a new construction and they're offering a bonus, worthless. You cannot accept it. And if you guys remember, I did a video where I talked about this very thing. And I said, hey guys, what are you doing with like new construction? Everybody's like, we just amend. We just do this. We just whatever. Guess what? Not allowed. Like, it hasn't been allowed the whole time. Like, that's not allowed. Like, did you guys know that? Like, it's like you could get in trouble. Like, not allowed. Okay. Not allowed to do that. This one's kind of more, I think this is pretty much accepted in all places. I'm fine with it. At the same time, I think you should be able to agree to whatever you want to agree with a person. So I don't like these rules around things. But you can't do a buyer's agreement with a minimum and maximum, meaning it'll be between this and this. I don't mind well defined, like, hey, it should be a set, whatever. I also don't think there should be rules on what you can't do. Like, I think you should be able to do whatever. I don't know why you do a minimum maximum, but you're not allowed to. Okay. So that one's not as big a deal. Here's the one that I don't think anybody realized. You guys ready for this one? You cannot do an agreement specific to a property. Now, how many of you have been doing agreements, touring agreements and buyer's agreements specific to a property? Yeah, because you wait and see what's being, and you're like, bam, that one right there. Or the person doesn't want to sign a 6-month agreement. You go, great, but I have to have an agreement in place. I have to whatever. So we're just going to sign one for this specific property. How many of you have heard of that? Like doing that, right? Not allowed. Is that crazy? Like, not allowed. Not allowed. Like, I saw that and I'm like, are you what? Now, again, why in the world would you not be allowed to do that? An agreement is between two parties. If we agree to this, why would it not be allowed? And so that's why I said, like, I think this is eventually going to go to the Supreme Court because they are agreeing to things that like violate your rights as a person. Like, we are allowed to make agreements. You don't make those rules. Like, we are, so we'll see what happens. But most of the people on this call, most of the people operating this industry changed everything about their business and have still been in violation this whole time. Think about that. You've still been in violation this whole time because most of us didn't even know that. We didn't even know that was like, how many of you with at least one of those things I just said, that was new to you? You're like, what? We can't. How many of you like raise of hands? That's new to me. Yeah, that was the rules the whole time. Was not aware. Guys, I follow this like in a way, was not aware. Like that came out in the 11th hour of all of this. So believe me, when I do, Kevin